Alright fellas, now we just saw the exhibition rematch between Floyd Mayweather and John Gotti III, and well, it was all just a bit weird. Now, you might not have known that Mayweather was going to be back in the ring this weekend, but he certainly was. Their last matchup back in June of last year was best known for that wild brawl after the stoppage, so the heat was on leading into their anticipated rematch. Today, I want to talk about how we ended up seeing this again, what happened, and what will be the aftermath of this bout. So, let's get right into it. Now, Mayweather has inserted himself into some real weird exhibition fights as of late, and well, with the first John Gotti matchup, it was one to me that made little sense. I get that people want to see Mayweather box, but where did they pull John Gotti III from as his opponent? To me, I've only heard about him before through some of his MMA fights, and they weren't anything special. It was more like, look at the grandson of the Teflon Don, he's in the cage. It was on the Daily Mail or something like that. That's the only reason I'd heard of him before, and he's managed to ride off the coattails of his infamous name and secure himself a fight with Mayweather. Like, at least if he had a social media following, I could be like, I understand, but he doesn't even have that. The first fight was hosted by a network called Zeus, which seems to be known for making incredibly average reality TV, starring some of the biggest D-grade celebrities known to man. It was promoted as some sort of come watch this fight and a concert all in one. From what I understand, this fight financially bombed, and seeing that Zeus hasn't gone back into boxing since, I would love to see who presented the business case on this, but God, I hope they got fired. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out this probably doesn't sell too many pay-per-views. The first fight itself was just Mayweather toying with Gotti, and Gotti doing basically nothing. I won't even really break it down further than that, because I know the only important part about this whole fight was the fight being waved off for excessive trash talk by the ref, and then Gotti refusing to take that as a stoppage, and deciding to finally actually swing on Mayweather, something which he didn't do in the actual fight, which resulted in the infamous brawl which went viral as both corners fought each other, and it was all a bit of chaos. Basically, for that reason alone is why we are seeing the second matchup. The original exhibition was meant to be a rematch between Mayweather and Victor Ortiz, which would have been pretty interesting thinking about their history. A press conference happened for this fight, yet it quietly faded away, with the Gotti rematch being the replacement. Weirdly, leading up to this fight, it wasn't really marketed as a rematch, which I found kinda strange. Yet, the press conferences seemed peaceful enough. The usual back and forth, nothing to really report. But before I talk about the actual fight itself, I thought I'd quickly talk about some of the undercard highlights. We saw Colonel Moan back in action, and once again he continues to impress. He got the first round KO over Victor Vazquez, and simply, if you aren't already watching this kid, please tune in. Watch his rise, because for one, he's entertaining, and for two, he definitely will be a future star. Keep your eye out. Yet moving on, we did end up seeing Victor Ortiz back in the ring, and it wasn't really anything more than you would expect from an exhibition. Who knows if they're setting up for a Mayweather rematch, yet it was really nothing special. But probably the best fight of the night went to Alan Picasso against Crazy A. Two solid fighters in the super bantamweight division. Picasso is probably one of the world's most underrated prospects. At only 24, he holds a record of 29 wins and 1 draw. He put on a good performance against Crazy A, taking home the decision. I don't see Inoue versing him before he moves up in divisions, because his plan already seems marked out. But once Inoue moves out of the super bantamweight division, don't be surprised to see this bloke become the face of the division real quick. Yep, back onto the reason that you are all here for. Mayweather, in usual style, took his time coming out to the ring, making Gotti wait a while. Before the fight, Gotti was complaining to the ref to be vigilant about the behind the head shots coming from Mayweather. Now, once the fight started, it was a quiet yet tense first 2 rounds, with the most eventful thing happening was Gotti's continued complaints about shots behind the head which he thought was illegal, but they were simply legal shots. For all the talk about the fighting spirit and pumping up their tough guy chests, from the get-go they were complaining about legal shots from a guy who weighed in 20 pounds lighter than them. It's all a bit embarrassing, and this annoyed Mayweather, with the fight being paused as both Gotti and Mayweather mouthed off. Yet Mayweather was incredibly heated and started calling for a change of ref. Like, that wouldn't happen, right? But, well, it did. Mid-round ref change. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before. I couldn't really even believe it was happening. So at the demand of Mayweather, the referee changed, and from there the tension seemed to drop to 0. For the rest of the rounds, Mayweather really controlled the fight at his tempo, and neither fighter seemed to want to punch with any sort of intention at all. There was a little bit of taunting, yet really nothing major to report, with after the fight the crowd acting angrily at what they just saw, booing for an extended period of time. Gotti had no real highlights, and this was just another payday for Mayweather. Concerningly though, after the fight they brought in Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. into the ring. Now, why did they do that? Well, some of the press have teased the idea of an exhibition bout between Mayweather and Chavez. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I guess after Tyson being brought out of retirement, the thought of a 62-year-old Julio Cesar Chavez coming back isn't crazy to promoters. Yet Mayweather seemed to shut down this rumor with him saying that Chavez is an idol to him and an exhibition wouldn't end well for him. Yet with boxing, money talks, and if someone puts up the money, I don't think morals will get in the way for Mayweather. Of course, other exhibition matches have been thrown around, such as the Ortiz match or a Pacquiao rematch or even a KSI matchup, but who really knows what's next? Mayweather has shown to really verse the weirdest, most irrelevant people you can think of in these sorts of exhibitions, and he will take the fight which offers him the most money at the end of the day. Yet, I think we will still see many more of these for years to come. For Gotti, I know the commentary said they wouldn't mind to see him have a run at cruiserweight, yet really, let's be honest. He should go back to MMA or just retire. He doesn't have the boxing instinct and carried a decent record in MMA. Any more boxing bouts would just be a cash grab, and I think that's what he was hoping to see. Yet an MMA return, in my opinion, would be his best chance at any sort of glory. Now, I want to hear your thoughts about the whole spectacle and what you think is actually next for Mayweather. Please consider subscribing and liking if you did enjoy. I will always try my best to keep you fellas updated and informed. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.